Hey there, it's Boots Owen here. This is a big 3-jaw chuck. I say big, I think it's a 6-inch. You can see those numbers there, maybe. BP 67/3075/P 3501. It's either a Pratt or a Burnerd or a Pratt Burnerd. It's seized, it doesn't work, can't open it, which is frustrating. Oh, there's a bit of give there actually. That's more than there was, so that's something. We're getting somewhere. I've been soaking this for days with penetrant spray. Any old diesel should do it just to get in there, or you could use petrol, but petrol. So there's a bit of movement in that other key, but it wasn't doing anything. That one's got a little bit of slack in it, so that's something. I was tapping these with a hammer gently, but I've decided that's probably not the best thing to do. Can't find one turning now. Which one was it? Was it this one? Okay, so I've decided I think the thing to do is take off the back plate. This is an L00 fitting back plate. Big and dirty. Need some Allen keys to get in here. So let's get that off. It's quite loose. I haven't been in here before. This came with a Harrison L5A 5.5-inch lathe that I got, and it's a lovely lathe. It's old, it's used, it's been painted a load of times, but internally it's not been used much, so it's been left in a shed, kind of disassembled, semi-disassembled for 14 years I think, and I've just gotten it a few weeks ago, and I'm just trying to work through it now. That's stuck. This is a brass hammer, and there ain't no moving on that. Right, it's got a couple of punch marks, that's good to know. I suspect that step in there is where it separates, so I need to get something to hammer apart there, maybe. Don't really want to do that. It's very heavy, so hammer hits. Oh, it looks like it's coming off a little bit. Now, I saw a bit of a gap somewhere. Oh, there, it's cracking. That's something. So I saw a bit of a gap here. So what's it getting stuck on? Let's try it over this side. I think I'm gonna need to try and hit it out from the center. Something in there. Tappy tap tap. Ideally what I'd like is something brass, but I don't want to damage any brass stock I have. So I'm probably just going to use a screwdriver. If I put it on its side. Just try hammering it. It's moving. You can see that line opening up there. That's good. So I'm hoping I'll be able to see some screws in here that I can start to disassemble or something. That's coming apart good. Oh, it looks like we're off, are we? Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. Is it? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty good actually, I think. So it looks like the back plate is part of it. That shouldn't really be, should it? So I might need to give this a good clean up. It looks like that penetrating oil has gotten in there. That's good. So there's my key. Oh yeah, we're doing something there. Ah, hey, we're off. Just taking the plate off seems to have started it off a bit. That's good. That one moves a little. This one not at all. So I see it's rusty in here, so it could be rusty in the tips there, but it looks like that one's got a bit of play in it and a bit of movement. That's good. Now a bit more spray, I think, is in order. Bit more spray and something to hold it with. Where's the moving one? So I think I can actually remove these 1, 2, and 3s with these little set screws. There's a little set screw here, here, and here. I think you can just pull them out. It's quite stiff though. So the scroll did seem to turn a little bit there. Oh, what happened there? Okay, so that's turning. It's turning a little bit in one direction, and then I wonder if that's not engaging correctly. This is usually how you end up doing it, back and forth, let the oil get in. I need to figure out which ways to loosen it and get those jaws to come loose. Try and get it, hang it over the edge there, I can get my hand on it. It might be a case of doing it a bit and then the ring's moving a bit, but the jaws aren't moving yet. That one seems more promising. See, I don't know what's there. That one's in, so this is out anti-clockwise. So it might be a case of doing it anti-clockwise, giving these a little tap with the hammer to help them along. Then like this. Nope. Like in theory, you should just be able to drive it out. But in practice, it's really stiff because these are quite precise and a little bit of rust. Oh, it's tightened in now. Right, I'll try the other way. See if that helps at all. It is moving, but it's not moving the jaws. So there's a big spiral thread, and these slide in and out on that spiral thread. But if they're not turning, what am I going to do? I think if I take out that set screw, then this will just slide out this way. But if I do that, maybe the ring falls out if I do that. So, are they all numbered? They usually are. No, the teeth are not. The jaws are numbered. Doesn't appear that the screws are, so that makes my life easier. Let's see if these are loose at all. These set screws. Yeah. Set screws with a pin on them. Bit rusty, but coming out freely. The plan is to get this workbench cleared, move the lathe over to where this workbench is in against the wall, and then I'm good to go. So these should just push out, if that's, yeah, that's it. I realise the irony of using a brass hammer on plastic. Before I pop them all out, let's just check the numbers, if there's numbers on them. Give it a clean with my filthy dirty rag. The penetrating oil's gotten in pretty well. There's no identifying features on the end there. Nothing on that end to see. I don't see any numbers, and all they do is they don't engage. They just they don't engage in a particular order, I think. So they're probably okay to just lash in. I need to get a box, put these bits in. What I'm hoping is this spiral now will fall down, but I'm not sure if that's the case or not. This cogged toothed spiral. Give these a wipe as well. Yeah, so then once the lathe is in, I've got to rebuild it, and I've taken the bed off the carriage, off the cabinet. So bit of shimming to do to make sure it's all right. These guys. What I've noticed is whenever you buy a box of old tools or whatnot, oh, there it is, it's out. That's good. So there's the big worm. Now, it doesn't matter which way in that goes, because as long as the jaws are in the correct number, so there should be a 1, 2, and a 3 jaw, as long as they're in the correct position, should be okay. So when I'm hammering, I was hammering against these rings, and that's not good, because that, you know, eventually just puts little dings in them. Bit of rust on here, that'll have to get wire wheeled off, but it will. And then once there's a bit of oil on it, a bit of light oil, that'll keep it okay. I don't know if that's damage there, or if it was machined like that. It looks like this side is the way it's meant to be. Okay. It's that ring, it's this piece of casting. It looks like that's a specifically made, it's not a back plate, it looks like that plate is made to be on there. That's all one piece, so it's a L00 chuck, it's not a changeable chuck. Maybe it is, I don't know. So you can see there those marks, 1, 2, that's where I was battering it to get it off. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, but it's just not pleasant to beat up machine tools, because they like to be, even if they're a bit rough, they don't like damage. It doesn't help, it's bad practice and all that. So let's try a little bit in. Oh, hold on. So that one's going okay. That one's stuck. That one's stuck. So let's try number 3. Seems good. It's just a bit stuck here. The more I'm working it, there it is. Wow, that penetrating oil is doing something. Number 3. On the floor. Lovely. Let's see if this one got a number on it. Number 3. Great. And it's got a number 2283 on it. So that's number 3. There's another number here actually. 56. Can you see that? 56188 on the back plate. And there's another set. The numbers I showed you at the start don't correspond to 228. So we'll put that in there. Number 3 is number 3, so at least we know that was right. Nobody was playing with it. Now these guys. A bit more spray. Taking little chips off my hammer. That one looks like it's freeing up number 2. So I'll do what I did before. Try and stiff again. There it is. No. Try and work the oil in, and then rust is iron oxide is harder in theory than the steel underneath, if I'm not talking guff, and so it'll actually work as a lapping compound, which is not great, but in the short term it's not a big deal. Now I'm looking at this here and I see there's a bit of a dent beside number 2 there. Hard to see on the camera, so I'm wondering if that's stopping it coming out. So I'll just wipe it as clean as I can. If it slides out stiff, that's okay. Yeah, that'll come out. It is stiff. On the plus side, like, you'd think these are accurate. It came with another set of jaws, the lathe. Now I don't know if they're the right jaws for this one. This is always the thing when you get these old tool room tools, because 2882, look at the rust on that. Like that'll it's pretty grim. That's pitting rust there. Last one. It is moving. It's chipping brass off my hammer. But brass off the hammer is better than steel off the chuck. So get a bit more sauce in here and try to get it. It's loose at this end, but it's only bearing on about 6 mil. So if I can get it sliding on 10 mil and then on a bit more, that would be excellent. Should have put my backplate screws in the box over there. I'm quite pleased with this because these things are hundreds of pounds to replace if you want to buy a new one. And granted, like normally you can get a used one. The only thing I can think as well is it's about 5 to 10 degrees in this shed at the moment. If I put it in the kitchen, I might warm it up a bit, get it up to 18 or 20. It is starting to slide. It's just not sliding freely yet. I would prefer if it would slide out, but it doesn't seem to want to. Let's just give it a quick... I can see big gobs of rust on the side there. Might not help, and I can't get into the underneath side either, so it's better than it was. Seems to be getting stuck towards the end, and of course there could be corresponding rust on the jaw. Let's put a dab of machine oil on it. Now, I think I'm just going to whack it out now. Yeah, it's pretty crusty. You can see in there, along here, in there. None of that's helping, but the wire wheel will clean that up. 228, it's 228? 288. 228, 1, 2, and 3. The other jaws that came with it are from a completely different chuck. They have nothing to do with this one at all. Nowhere near being the correct size. So I don't know what they're about. 10397 3 1 2 and 3, completely different jaws. Like that's how it goes. I thought these might be for this one, but they are not. So I'll give this a wire wheel on the bench grinder and then put it all back together again. So just looking at the difference there, there's still raised up rust on this side. There's a bit in there, I'll have to get that out, but generally the wire wheel gets most of the crud off. Doesn't get into those grooves there either, but I will. I'll do that by hand probably. So I'll just keep going, finish this off and do everything else the same way. There's not much to it, but it's tedious work. So I've cleaned up everything I could with the big wheel, and now I've got to go on to the smaller wheel. So wire wheeled everything, and I'm going to put it all back together with a drop of oil. And what else? A drop of oil. I have given everything a wire wooling. I don't really know that you need very much oil, but what I'm doing is I want to prevent rust more than anything. So drop that wheel back in there. Gear. It spins nicely. So drop there to come around the outside, and cloth. Clean sock with a bit of oil all over it to give everything a wipe. Just because I don't want to be in here cleaning off rust again. I've given everything a bath with cigarette lighter fluid because that's the kind of alcohol that I've got a bit of surplus of. So I've been washing everything in lighter fluid these days. So let's get a drop of oil onto all of these. That one's done. This one. And I'll give these a bit of a wipe as well. Now I didn't get the face, I got the ways on the sides pretty clean, but I didn't get the faces as clean as I would have liked. But for now it's good enough, I think. See there's a bit of corrosion, and that might actually polish off or scrape off. Let me try. Yeah, it might scrape off, but it's a job for another day. I just want to get this thing on the road for now, because I've got some moving things around to do, and the lathe is in the way, and the workbench is in the way. And this was the next job on the workbench, so this is what I've got to move on. And I can always just back these out with a chuck key later, so it's not a big deal. Now, one last piece, the back plate. Let's give that a squeeze of oil. It cleaned up quite well. It's a big cast piece of steel, presumably. Now, hopefully there we are. So let's get to assembling this. That's in and sliding. Get these in. 1, 3. This pin's a little lick. Oily sock on. Why does that one not want to go in? Those don't really need to be tight, they just need to be in. It's in too far, that's the issue there. Okay. I think these don't need to be tightened up, they just need to be below the mating surface of the back plate. That one's in too far as well, I'd say. So there. I think that's the lot then. The back plate goes on, so we need to find that pop mark that was on it. I'm guessing it's that there. There should be a matching one somewhere. There, so if we line them up, they should fit together snugly. That's it actually, it's pretty good. Pretty good fit. I'll put that down there, put my screws back in. This chuck has had a bit of use, seen some going, so I don't mind, you know, not shining it up with sandpaper and that to give it a full buff. I might, when the lathe is running, just go over the outside with some emery cloth or something to finish off the outside, but the inside especially I don't want to do anything with. And then over here, last one. And then I'll tighten each one a little bit gradually. It's not like we're putting on a engine top, but I don't want to stress these too much. That one wasn't even tight. I'm sure that one was either. We might just be pulling it shut now at this stage. That one is quite tight. That's it. I'm not going to horse into these. Just get them tight. That's it. Okay, now let's see about getting these jaws back in. Set that there. Set that back. 3 jaws, and I polished up the chuck key as well. So number 3. I should have tested them for sliding fits before, but they seem to be going in actually quite well there. And number 1. So I'm not sure where I'm meant to be going here. I think I gotta get it round and engage number 1 first. So I'm looking at the spiral here. Yeah, when it goes, I'll back it off, bring number 1 in, and get it around to here, back it off, bring number 2 in, get it around to number 3. So what I mean is there, if you look in here, the first ring of the spiral or the tip of the spiral comes in, I back it off, then bring in number 3. And then these are all sliding pretty good actually. I'm going to put a drop of oil on each side. Don't mind having too much oil. It's probably not good. Well, it can't be bad for it, but it picks up dirt. That's the issue. There we go. Sliding away. And I'd like to see the 3 shoulders arrive at the center at the same time, like on this rim. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're all pretty good actually. A little bit loose, but you know, it's an old chuck. There we go. I think that is that. Whoops. Back this out. It's a bit clunky coming out. Let it off a bit more, get that chuck key in there for now. And there we go. The Pratt seized 3-jaw chuck, disassembly, reassembly. Questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. See you later.